All right. Good afternoon, Kid Every Prosperity. It is Matt and Mary Beth with you here today. It is Wednesday, May 27th. I was going to say Tuesday because it feels like a Tuesday, but it's Wednesday. We're here, Kelly Florio. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us today. I figured we'll keep your video on. Anything that you want to chime in on and, add into, feel free to do so. Today, we're continuing our conversation with the Net a Million stage of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. We're on page 226 right now, so we're really moving right along, Mary Beth, through this book. Do you have your book?
Yes, we are. We referenced the book yesterday, if you were watching with Brad Korn.
Yeah.
And he was talking about the MREA. I was like, this thing you mean?
Yeah. Your MREA and Julie's MREA both had a lot of mileage on it.
So we are in 266. We are heading home.
Yes. So on page 226, we talked about MREA challenges that you'll face. Sorry. Yeah, 226 challenges you'll face going from earn a million to net a million. And we started with the first three challenges. And number 4 on page 226 is weighing your options, the process of discovering what works and doesn't work for you. So really when I was reading through that section, 2 things resonated with me. Number 1, it's saying that a lot of agents go based on the shiny object, like what they see. They might see an advertisement on Facebook, they might see an advertisement on TV, and they say, let me give this a try. And what happens is they're not holding their money accountable. So they're not tracking the actual results they're getting from the new sources they're going towards. What was that?
Right. And so we just finished up the Shift series.
Yep.
And can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good?
Yep, you're good.
Yeah. Okay. We finished up the Shift series. So what does number 4 pertain to? Weighing your options. What does number 4 pertain to? Red light, green light.
I was going to say financial model, red light, green light.
Yeah, it is the red light, green light. It is measuring if it's actually holding the dollars accountable and measuring if it's working. Because there's one thing that I love, an agent that says that they're really busy. They're doing open houses. They hit this class. They even went on Caravan. They went to this attorney party and all this stuff happens. But then what's working? What got you the transaction? Oh, you don't have one. So therefore you didn't have anything that was working to get you transactions, but you got all busy. Or you are pushing out, let's say Facebook ads into a certain community, a certain demographic. You're doing the same thing over and over again, and you're only getting 1 or 2 leads, and it's not turning out to anything. Well, then that is holding it accountable, weighing your options, and understanding that that's not working, right? But then we find the one thing that did work, and we get super excited about the client that we forget to do the thing again to get more clients.
Yep.
So whatever it is that works, it works. You just got to be measuring, right?
Yeah, you need to be tracking it. And, this, along with the red light, green light in that same section in the Shift book, they talk about identifying what lead sources are working for you. So really to write down, your top 10 lead sources, and then breaking it down, focusing on your top 5, and really putting time and energy and effort and money to those 4 or 5 sources rather than keeping yourself spread extremely thin. So with that,
figure out what your message is, figure out what works for you.
Yeah, exactly.
And it says here, do that first. Do it with a plan, do it with a budget, do it with a message, and do it with a target audience in mind. Don't just do it to do it purposefully. And understanding who the audience is, like the target audience, and I'm reading this on 227 on the top, but it's a target audience. Well, a target audience who loves music is going to respond to a different message than the target audience that loves to read books. Or the traveler group versus the Bible study group. There's a different audience. You're going to have a different look to each message for each group. And so pay attention to that stuff and figure out what's working. So number 4, weighing your options, right? The process of discovering what works and doesn't work for you.
Absolutely. I like the
And that's all on the,
there.
because it's all about you. It's what's going to work for Kelly. I mean, Kelly, if you would look at all the activities you do, what is the number 1 activity? And you could just say face-to-face, door knock, party, gym, that puts you in a business real estate conversation.
Being out, like at the gym, stuff like that.
Right, okay.
Face-to-face.
Okay,
Face-to-face.
Right, so she's out at the store, she's out at the gym, she's able to be herself, and then she's able to strike up a conversation. You might get somebody on the phone, somebody on this that would say, Eric Melnikov. Well, I make my phone calls, and through prospecting strangers, I get the most business conversations. Okay, we'll do more of that then. So that's why I say you, because it's a very personal journey, your lead generation.
Yeah, I'm definitely more face-to-face.
Okay.
I don't like the phone calls. I get very intimidated by the. So.
I'm sorry, you cut out. You get very intimidated by what?
The phone calls, making the phone calls. Like, I'd rather be face-to-face with somebody.
Okay.
But I know making the phone calls works too. So I'm trying to overcome that slowly but surely. Okay. So, you know.
I'll tell you, yesterday I got very bold. I called somebody because I was listening to Brad Korn tell me that everybody can go sell 100 homes a year. Got inspired. And no, but I called somebody that I'd been wondering, to your point, what will this conversation sound like? What script am I going to use on him? What should I even say to this dude? And I literally was like, got stuck in a conversation about how beautiful our bay is. Best looking bay out there. And then we just rolled into how beautiful our city is. And then we started talking about opportunities that could happen here. And I got off like, that was a really great phone call. I was scared to make it. And I'm just being open and vulnerable right now. I was scared to make the call because I wasn't sure of what to say. And yet I honestly got a little nervous and I said, how you guys doing over there? Everybody healthy? Oh, yeah. How about you? And unfortunately, my father-in-law had a little bit of it. So I said, my father-in-law got it. And it opens up this conversation, this care conversation that went both ways. And this is not somebody, Kelly, that's in my sphere. This was a complete, I've been wanting to call this guy for a certain reason, and I just did it. So
I cannot believe you were nervous. I don't believe you.
I get a little feeling in my belly, and I want to throw up. And I don't throw up, and I literally push through it and sweat a little bit, and I feel uncomfortable in my skin. And when it's over, I go, that was silly.
Yeah.
Right. And I know it gets easier the more you do it. I know that because I've been on a roll, and I've gotten, and then I take a little break from it, and then it starts all over again. Yeah. So I hate that.
No, the best time to keep going is when you're on a roll, because people could smell it. They could smell it. They're like, she's on fire. She's in business. There's something about her. She's got so much going on. I got to have a piece of her. When can I get a call?
Oh, I definitely get in my own way. I know that. Like, I know that. But
well, and Kelly, to your face-to-face point, I mean, you had good success back in November when you did the door knocking for the food drive.
Mm-hmm. Actually, people just called me during the quarantine from that. So that was actually good. So it may not happen right away, but I know it'll eventually happen, you know.
That is awesome. You know, and so to that point, Matt, something that Kelly did for those of us who are listening, she went out. Well, why don't you tell us what you did?
I don't even remember what I did. I did the door knocking for the
we had a
food pantry. Right? It was the food pantry in Wayne. And I just dropped off bags, knocked on doors, asked people to fill it, and then they would call me and I'd come pick it up. So probably out of I think we went to, in the rain, me and Saray, I think we did like 75 houses. I ended up carrying a 30-pound bird. Remember that? like 2 miles. And I think five people have called me about real estate since. They're not like ready to buy right now,
That's
but
awesome.
they've called me. So they, you know, they have my information. So that was good. I think, you know.
So for the 10-pound bird that you carried 2 houses,
I carried 2 miles.
You got 5 phone calls. I know, I was joking because there's no way you walk 2 miles with the damn bird. But so my point of that though is, Kelly, listen to me.
Yes.
There was energy around you just telling me what you were doing.
Oh, yeah.
I know that you enjoyed it because I saw the pictures of it.
Yeah.
You teamed
no,
up,
I did.
So there was, yeah. Okay.
I did enjoy it, and that's what I like to do more than picking up the phone.
That's awesome. So here's what I challenge you to do, because we made it really simple. We just got brown paper bags. We found the needs for the shelter, the pantry. We stapled it right on the bag. We gave the information for the call to pick up. And so I know we're starting to slowly come out of this, but I know the food pantries are down. They're really down. So, I mean, if you're suited up, gloves, mask, and you got another 50 bags, I'd say go hit another neighborhood.
Yeah. I did a food drive for the animal shelter in town too. So that worked out well. I got a couple calls from that. You know, I like the animals. I like to do the animals and the food pantry, but that worked out. I'll do more. I just get, you know, I question, what are we allowed to leave if they're not home? Right? Like, are we allowed to leave that bag?
I would.
I mean, I did do that, but you know, I get people saying, you can't do that. You can't leave that here. You can't. And it's like, oh, okay. So.
But you can.
Yeah.
But you can. All right, Matt. So what's the next one we got?
So as we're moving forward, so we moved out of the leads phase and we're going to move over into the listings.
Listings.
So, listings on 228. It says, in moving to net $1 million, understanding the power of seller listings and how to leverage it becomes more and more important. So the next section, number 5, says you need to know the minimum number of seller listings you must list each month. Just really takes us back to the economic model, because it will take on part, basically making sure you know market trends, and you'll need to know kind of the direction the market's going in to know how many listings you need to have. And Mary Beth, this really kind of ties back to the economic model that you were talking about a couple days ago.
That's right. So here's where I want us to remember that on page 219 is outlining all 16 of these issues, and these issues are issues between the earn $1 million and the net $1 million. These are not issues to get to the earn $1 million. This is dissecting a big business, saying that when we are at the point where we've already brought in $1 million in GCI, or the business is churning, how do I get my business to the point where I am truly netting $1 million out of all the sales that are going on? So in this situation, it says knowing the minimum number of seller listings you must take each month. That's not saying how many listings you need to take for the year. That's saying specifically how many listings do I need to take each month. Then I have this other activity that will even show you how many listings should you always be carrying. You know, when I was an agent, I would always, there wasn't that model, and yet I knew I needed to carry a good 12 sellable listings. I usually had 15 to 20 total listings, and 12 to 15 were actually sellable, that I knew they were going to go somewhere. The other ones were like the rental that somebody gave you that they're going to rent out on their own. It just looks good that you have your sign on there for them, you know? The guy who's going to sell the house, no, he's not really going to sell the house. He's had a million agents. He's an expired. So that was a model, knowing how many I always had to carry. And just think about this, like, if you know what your average day on market is, and you know what your goal is in listings sold, is a formula that you work backwards to say you would need to always have this many listings, so this many go under contract and this many get replaced. in order to create that. So with listings, knowing your number, I mean, you could track it down to, I think I'm frozen.
Yeah.
You could track it down to the number of listings you need to take per week.
You are.
Yeah, and I was going to say, oh, there you are, you're unfrozen. I was going to say, I apologize because there's been sometimes a little bit more of a lag today than normal. So I apologize if there's a weird lag. There's also like people weed whacking behind me too. So there's a lot going on.
And weed whackers.
It's all right. Listings. So 5, we're talking about knowing the minimum number of listings. 6 is the minimum number each month.
Yeah.
7 is one that I highlighted, is getting sellers to accept the team concept.
Yep.
And that is a true issue when you're getting to that earn $1 million versus net $1 million. And I'll share with you why that's the issue, because at the earn $1 million, you could definitely have a single agent who has an admin and a buyer's agent or 2, and they could get to $1 million in GCI for sure. When you go to the level of netting $1 million, you're going to have, well, not that you're going to have to, because the numbers, you can do it, but it's more than likely that you have a listing specialist.
Yep.
As well as the main rainmaker. So like in this situation, let's just say I was the rainmaker. Mary Beth is Mary Beth Wonder Woman, right? She's going out there. She's got her Wonder Woman team. And now I have to go and sell. Miss Kelly Florio is going to be my listing specialist.
Yep.
Well, forever, for the last 5 years, 3 years, 10 years, for some people, it might be 10, 12, 20 years. It's been Mary Beth. They need Mary Beth. They want Mary Beth.
Yep.
And now I got to tell them that Kelly is going to be coming over, and they got to trust that I trust Kelly, and that I have to say to them, you trust that I would choose the right people into my team, right? I mean, and I have to sell that team concept. And then when you get to a point where now they don't even get Mary Beth anymore, Kelly answers the phone when Mary Beth's phone is ringing. Now you really have to sell the brands and what the whole vision mission of the team is, because now they're not attached to Mary Beth. They're attached to the Mary Beth Realty Group service and expectations.
Yep. Absolutely.
So that's a real challenge for people. And I would just stay on that for a little, because how do we help people get over that?
Well, I think we help people get over that, clients and as well as agents, in the example that they use on, I think it was 232, where they talk about setting expectations. And we're looking at, think of a surgeon, or think of an attorney, think of, a doctor. Is a surgeon or a doctor, are they, they're not performing the operation. They're not, well, they are performing the operation, but they're not taking the phone calls. They're not scheduling the appointments. They're not prepping everything. They have people doing all of those things. That way, once it gets to the table to do the surgery, they're able to perform it. So it's not, my dad as an attorney isn't, doing receptionist work. He's not doing all the dictation work. He has people that does that for him. So it's same as in real estate. The realtor shouldn't be wearing 15 different hats. And I think that's, a good example there on page 232.
Well, and the question would be, do you want your doctor just walking in with no tools ready to go to just cut you open, whatever he could find in the drawer? No. That's one. He's got this whole team that will do x-rays and look inside you to kind of guide him and give him the roadmap to what he needs to do for you, right? When you're talking about that type of environment, when you're looking at a realtor situation, you have to imagine that there's going to be people that are behind the mega agent that support the business so that much business can be done. And so you wouldn't want the same person going to get the tools to put the tools out, because they know where everything is and they know how to clean it right. And the doctor knows how to use them, but he doesn't know how to clean them. He doesn't know where the cleaning solution is.
Yep.
So if you're just explaining, another one was the director and the orchestra. Yep. And this, it's not in this book, but it's been in other lessons that I've had, is that you're orchestrating this amazing symphony, If the tuba guy doesn't show up and the clarinet girl's sick, it could change the sound completely. But if you don't got this director here trying to figure that out, so it's all a team. It's a teamwork, and we see the play. We see the play in a lot of things. We talk about athletes and artists and musicians and realtors when they're working. What the work is, it's really our play time. The work is done through these kind of conversations to sharpen our acts. The work is done script and role play with the team. So, you know, the illusion that what we do is simple, easy, and anybody can do it, and why can't you call me back? Why does it have to be your assistant or your... If we explain to our customers a big business and relate it to other big businesses so they understand all the moving pieces and why they may not get us for the home inspection issue resolves, then we've done right by explaining our organizational chart and how that benefits the client. If we are all about, and I'll just say to you, because I've been in that position, if it's just like, well, Kelly's my buyer's agent and Matt is my assistant, so, oh, I don't talk to clients anymore. Matt talks to all my clients and Kelly takes all my buyers out. So I'm out of it. The customer, I haven't handed it off properly. The customer now needs to build a whole new rapport with Kelly, a whole new rapport with Matt, rather than as the rainmaker, just really expressing why we're going to expand with a buyer's agent. Because you know what, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, there are so many buyers that come through as inquiries that one agent would not be able to service the amount of potential viewers of your home. And therefore, we work with professional agents that like to work on the buyer side of the transaction. They do really well, and they service the client way better than I could ever do. They may go show them 10 homes to bring them right back to your home to say, now do you see the value in the home? I am a listing specialist. I know how to properly price and market your home to attract all of those lookers. But then I need a team of people that are going to service those inquiries. You understand me now? Those are two different jobs.
Yeah, well,
but we have to work together.
For sure. And
I have a tug of war. There's a boat coming through right now.
You're good. People have different strengths and weaknesses. So you're really just enabling within a team to say, okay, well, this person excels at X, this person excels at Y, and this is why the team concept works. You know, and I think, you know, I had highlighted, and you hit this on nail on the head. You need to master the scripts, and you need to know the dialogues to use in each situation on every presentation. And I think Molly yesterday, for those of you who are taking Bold Pivot, she said it best. Are you practicing with role play partners, or are you practicing on your clients? And, you know, that really resonated with me, because I think a lot of people, they're not practicing with a role play partner. They're not practicing with somebody else on their team. They're just practicing, quote unquote, on the actual client. And that's the worst way to do it.
That's right. Well, anything.
All my scripts right here.
That's awesome. Anything can always be practiced. I was looking at Facebook. Robin, I don't know her last name, the one that is on like the Today Show with the short hair, had cancer, had no hair.
Robin Roberts.
Right. So she is teaching a class on masterclass.com. I don't know if you got that on your Facebook feed. But you have Master Chef Gordon Ramsay.
Yep.
So they identified architects. I mean, Frank Gehry, Guggenheim. Frank Gehry is teaching architecture classes. He's like, when is it going to end for me? Because he's old. Right? Yeah. But people are pivoting and they're teaching these master classes. Robin is teaching about communications. So I'm interested, like for $180, all of those master classes unleash. And I'm thinking like, you know what? There's an interior design class on there. There's a communications class. There's an architecture class. Those are 3 classes that would absolutely give our agents like a little edge just by listening to some of those design philosophies and whatnot. So even when you think you've arrived, like you still have more learning to do and you can constantly be sharpening your axe.
Absolutely. Well, Mary Beth, as you have boats in your background, I have landscape or background. I think it's 11:30. I think we covered a lot.
As Barry said yesterday, we have the best bay out there. Better than any islands, minus the palm trees. Beautiful Raritan Bay.
So we'll pick this up tomorrow with pitch 232. We'll continue with number 8. Kelly, thanks for joining us today, and we'll see everyone in a little bit. We got Martin Weldon in about 30 minutes, and we'll see you all.
Yes, he's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
Awesome.
Bye, guys.
Guys.
Bye.